Hi guys, my name's Mika and I'm a writer and a professional organizer. I'm a big proponent of slow living, and slow living can be interpreted in many different ways. But how I personally see slow living is managing my time effectively so that I'm productive and have a purpose, but I still maintain a good work-life balance. For years, I've run a small business and have written manuscripts for books to publish, and I felt like I've had this great work-life balance. But during the last few months, I've taken on some extra projects and I've been working a lot of hours, and my work-life balance is definitely off. And so this video is as much for me as it is for you, and I'm going to be talking about easy ways to incorporate slow living into our busy lives. These are going to be different ways that are easy to implement but could have big effects and can make a big difference in our lives. So the first thing is to ground your feet. So if you haven't heard of this before, it's going to sound a little bit weird, but bear with me because there's actually studies to support the benefits of this. And it's actually the reason that I'm making this video. I was going to film something totally different tonight, but then this morning I was walking my dog and I ran into my neighbor. And this neighbor, he was very leisurely and he said he was just walking down to the beach to feel the temperature of the sand on his feet. And I told him, somebody long ago had told me, on a daily basis, if you go and put your feet in the sand for 2 minutes a day, it just really grounds you. And this neighbor said he's aware of that. It's called earthing. And he said that's precisely what he's going to go do. But he said you can do it anywhere. The grass, gravel, sand, or dirt. But just going barefoot and putting your feet for a couple minutes in the earth, it's supposed to ground you. So in fact, what scientifically happens is that your body, our bare feet, absorbs free ions from the Earth's surface, which acts as antioxidants. These antioxidants are good for us and good for our health, and there's all kinds of different benefits that are being discovered from grounding or earthing. Some of the benefits is that it's supposed to improve your energy levels, better regulates your blood flow, reduces stress, improves sleep, reduces chronic pain, and even changes the electrical activity in our brains. There's research done from leading universities such as Harvard, and it's pretty cool and it's easy to implement for most people. So if you could go put your bare feet on the ground, on the earth, just for a couple minutes each day, or as often as you can. If you can't make it a couple minutes each day, then once a week. But there's a lot of benefits to this simple process called earthing. Another thing to do is to recognize the importance of hello. So Daniel Goleman wrote a great book called Social Intelligence. I'd highly recommend it if you have a chance to read it. But basically he starts out, and it's been a while since I've read it, so I hope I have this right. But he says, as we evolve, we have less social intelligence. Because say before, if we were watching a performance, we would all be gathered together to watch a performance. Now we could see it on our individual TVs and we're more separated. And so a million people can be tuning into the same thing, but they're all seeing it separately, individually. And it's not that million people together. So it could reach a wider audience, but everybody's separate. And then back in the day, it used to be horses and carriages. And so when we passed by each other, you could hear each other or see each other. Now we're in these vehicles with glass separating us. And so he goes on to talk about when you're walking on the street, people have like the earphones in and then they don't look up and talk to you. We're just losing touch with each other. And hello is one of the most basic human greetings. And it only takes a second. So to just acknowledge the people that are in your presence with a proper greeting of just a quick hello, eye contact, and a smile, you really never know who needs it. And it's just a basic human courtesy. But I think it's a simple thing that's important in its very basic essence and that we could all incorporate, and it's not any trouble for us. So to say hello with an eye contact and a smile, it's free, it's easy, and it spreads goodwill. And it's kind of the opposite of what we would do in a rush. And it's just that moment of human connection when you say hello to each other and greet each other. In this digital age, we're becoming more isolated than ever. And so in little bits to have that human connection, it is very nice. And something else that you can do is to relish your morning cup of tea or coffee. So Matt Diavella is a productivity guru on YouTube, and I really like some of his videos and some of his advice. And one of the things that I remember him saying is that every morning he goes over his day. For like the first 30 minutes, he just goes over his day and the plans of what he's planning to do. And I was happy to hear that because I do the same. I love the first 30 minutes of my day. I always get up, make my coffee, and then sit at my desk. And it's so nice to sit there and the steam's coming up from my coffee. It's like this fresh, just made coffee. And then I go over my day, which helps me for the rest of the day. But I savor that first 30 minutes. Taking this time helps me to manage my time more effectively. And I think it helps me to be more mindful about my upcoming day. But just to be able to take my time and savor that time and drink my coffee and plan out my day, it's like a very slow living type of start to my day. And for me, it works well to go to my desk in the morning, but that's just because of my current lifestyle and how my home is set up. But you might prefer to go for a walk or sit outside or sit in your kitchen or on your sofa or to look out of your window. But just to relish your morning cup of tea or coffee and to give yourself some time in the morning can be a great start to your day. Another thing that you can do is to plate your food beautifully. So we eat with our eyes as well as our mouth. And I feel like when food is plated beautifully or drinks are poured and looking beautiful, everything tastes better. So my mom is a very traditional Japanese woman, and she went to a prestigious university in Japan, and then afterwards she went to finishing school and then learned how to do proper tea ceremonies and then also the Japanese art of flower arranging. That had an influence on me as a child because I used to watch her arrange her flower arrangements, and then she always took great care with her tea, and then also how she served her food. She always told me that it should look beautiful to taste good. And then when I was a little kid, she'd make these bentos, and they were so beautiful. She really put care into the presentation of things, and that kind of stayed with me for my life. But I think slow living, if we plate our food as if we're eating at a restaurant, it does feel so good to eat it. And then also pouring our tea and our coffee. It's like the simple things. It's simple, it's free, just takes a tad bit more effort, and it really just does feel so good. And there's something else too about when you plate your food and it's very beautiful, or your drink, you eat slower with more of an appreciation, or you drink slower with more of an appreciation. You're not just scarfing down whatever is on your plate or in your cup. If it's presented beautifully, you genuinely take more time to appreciate it. It tastes better, and then also you eat slower and can savor your food or your drink more. And in a way, I feel like that's a very fine experience of slow living. Another thing that you can do is to tend to your space. So context of environment is so important. Your environment has an effect on how you feel. And sometimes if it's full or cluttered, it can be hard to relax. So decluttering and cleaning and enjoying your space is therapeutic. If you have a really cluttered house or a really messy house, then decluttering and then putting things away and clearing those surfaces and then cleaning is just such a gift to yourself. So then you can relax and your future self will thank you, whether it's your tomorrow self or next week's self. And then if you have a fairly clean home, just to clear off the countertops and the flat surfaces, give it a good clean and a wipe down. That's always really nice. I know some people say they don't like to clean or pick up, but sometimes you could even put on like a long form YouTube video of something that you want to learn about, put that in the background, and then clean up. And when you do things like that, you kind of get into the flow and it becomes fun and time flies by. And if you do more of a long form type of cleaning, you can set a timer so that you don't have to worry about too much time passing by. You can set 30 minutes of a timer or 1 hour of a timer, and then you're worry free, but then you can kind of get in the zone. But our environments are very important, and when they're messy or cluttered, then there's so much noise in the environment. Wherever you look, your thoughts can be busy, like I have to complete this or I have to pick this up. So if you tend to your environment and clear off surfaces and just have a nourishing space for yourself, can make such a big difference. Another thing that we can do is to sit in stillness. So nowadays, most of us are so busy and we're constantly bombarded by different distractions. And so I think in the generations now, we have like a little bit of a hard time sitting still in silence and sitting still with our thoughts. But it could be really good and nourishing for us, whether you're meditating or just sit for a couple minutes with like a hot cup of tea or a hot cup of coffee or an iced coffee and just take some time to yourself, whether you're thinking of gratitude or things that you have to do, but just to give yourself a few moments of not being inundated with information or distractions. You can also meditate. Take 10 or more minutes a day to meditate. There's a lot of studies on the effect of meditation on your mind and body, and I'll do a whole nother video about that later, but that's a beneficial exercise. If you can commit to 10 minutes a day for 30 days and see the difference and effects, you'll likely find yourself more internally calm and balanced and self-aware and peaceful. You can also go for a walk. Walking has so many benefits. It's a very simple form of exercise. And if you walk consistently, there's so many health benefits. Walking is great for overthinkers because as you walk, it's kind of similar to sitting in stillness, but you could just let your thoughts wander and let your thoughts run through your mind, and it could help to still your mind. Walking is one of the simplest, most non-invasive ways to maintain a healthy weight. It can improve your energy levels, and it could help create muscle. It could help reduce or manage your stress or anxiety, and it can help manage type 2 diabetes, blood pressure, and heart disease. And for some reason, if you don't like walking, you can always put an audiobook in and then listen to the audiobook and then go for a long walk. And consistency counts with walking. So if you can make this a regular routine, like once a day or once a week, you'll see some great results in many areas of your life. And then another good thing is to learn to say no. So our time is finite, and sometimes we're asked to commit to obligations that we don't want to commit to. And it's really important to learn to say no to certain things, because if we say yes, 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 yes to everything, then we come up with a crowded schedule, and then it's the opposite of slow living because now you're rushing or anxious or stressed. So to pick and choose where your time should be spent to manage your time effectively and learn to say no to commitments that you don't want to go to can save you a lot of time and make a difference in your life and have a great impact. And those are some easy and simple ways to fit in slow living into a busy schedule. I hope that you're able to take one or more of these and then incorporate them into your life. Let me know in the comments below if you'll try any of these or if you have any tips of your own. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button as it helps more people to find my channel, and I'd really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. But for the last few months, I've taken on more projects.